Wakiri wegatu ogwetwo Dansan Omari niatariirie ati kuringana na watho wa ciana gicunguruma kia 34 kahengere ka mbere haugaga ati muciari mutumia angikua ithe wa ciana niwe witikiritio ni watho gutigwo na uigiririki wothe wa ciana icio ciatigwo. Ari kuga Pastor Kanyari niwe mwitikirie ni watho gutigwo na ciana ciake na Beti, Mwende kana Mutiende. Indi watho ni ugite ati okorwo Beti ni arandikite will ya kuga ati no ende ciana itigwo na murori ungi, mundu ucio no agayanire uigiririki na Kanyari, na Pastor ni etikiritio ni igoti kuhanda cira wa kuregana na mubango ta ucio. Omari akiongerera ati uria we ureciria wegie mitugo ya Kanyari ati ndagatigirwo ciana niwe we kou na meciria maku mangia amuigoti rikarora kana niari atihia ciana na njira o yothe. Amu Beti agitua itua ria guciara na Kanyari ri ari mundu mugima wina makiria ma miaka 18, kogwo woni waku weigire. Nake Tas agitikirio oe ciana okorwo ni athire igoti-ini na akirumirira mutaratara wa adoption ahetwo rutha ni Kanyari mwenyewe. Barari mwathani ni ahio heno yoyo Dansan Omari agitariria uhoro ucio wothe.
Welcome to this court helicopter explainer that touches on the question of the children of Betty Bayo. First, court helicopter passes condolences to the family of Betty Bayo and the children of Betty Bayo. May God rest her soul in eternal peace. But her death has raised a lot of discussions on social media. She has 2 children with the Kanyari. She has 2 children with the Tash. Who will take Betty Bayo's children, especially the children that Kanyari is the father? Kanyari has gone all over saying he will take up these children. Kenyans have different versions about it. In these 3 short episodes, we shall be dealing with the law, the Children Act, Section 34, that deals with transmission of parental responsibility once a parent has died. Section 34 deals with a situation where a mother dies. In Section 34(1), the law says if the mother dies, the surviving spouse, that is the father, we shall take the full custody of those children. So in this Section 34(1), Kanyari is going to go with these children. Hate it or love it. That is Section 34(1). It also says if Betty Bayo, before she died, she had appointed a testamentary guardian, a guardian that has been appointed by a will. Mark this. If Betty Bayo had appointed a testamentary guardian by a will, that guardian will have half the shares of custody with Kanyari. But also, the law moves down further and says Kanyari can object to that person being given rights of custody or rights of access. So the question, as I said, these are short episodes. Section 34(1) provides that upon the death of Betty Bayo, Kanyari, who is the father of these children, unless there is a dispute of DNA testing, Kanyari is the rightful person. So in this episode, Kanyari has an upper hand. Kanyari will have his children. But that does not mean the other husband shall not put up a fight, because this is the first time a controversial issue has come out. And that is why we are doing special episode to tell you what the law is. Episode 1, Kanyari takes the children pursuant to section 34(1). That is the law. You'll hate it, you'll not live it. The questions about suitability of Kanyari to have these children, we shall discuss it later. Why? The issue before the court shall not be what you think about Kanyari, either the drama he does or the manner he behaves. The questions the court will be looking at: is he the surviving spouse? 2, has he in any manner hurt these children? If his behavior is repugnant to you or to the public, that behavior does not stop Kanyari from being the father of these children. The law provides that children must grow within a family, and the family is defined to be a father and a mother. And the law provides that once one parent moves away, transmission of the rights of the father to the mother are sacrosanct and you cannot challenge it. The question people will want to ask: is Kanyari fit? The question is, Betty Bayo was above 18 years when she decided to give birth with Kanyari. She was never forced to give birth with Kanyari. Those children will not have another father. The only time the other husband of Betty Bayo can have these children is if he adopted those children. If he went to court and adopted those children, then he becomes the biological father of those children. But that adoption, Kanyari was supposed to have consented. There is no adoption of children who will proceed without the consent of the biological father. 2, if he has a guardianship order, he can now challenge that he was a guardian, but the guardianship order does not give the other guy rights of being the father of these children. 3, if he has a foster care order from the Director of Children's Services, but those ones are inferior. Article 53 of the Constitution, 1E, provides that a father is a father of a child, whether married or not married. So these children were born when Kanyari was married with Betty Bayo. They divorced. Betty Bayo got married to another person. It does not extinguish the rights of Kanyari as a father. So the law protects Kanyari to that effect. I know very many people have their own ways of looking at it. But as I've said, in this episode, Court Helicopter brings you the reasons as to why Kanyari is having almost 99% chances of getting the custody of his 2 children away from the current husband of Betty Bayo. Wakili Dansan Umari ends that episode in favor of Kanyari. Episode 2, we look how Tosh, the husband to Betty Bayo, can tilt and get custody of these children, still under the Children's Act. Wakili Dansan Umari. Don't avoid to follow the second short episode, why the husband of Betty Bayo is likely to have also 99% chances of getting the custody of those children. Welcome to Court Helicopter News. a special edition on the question of who is likely to have the custody of the children of the late Betty Bayo. Episode 1, we have said that Kanyari, the biological father, is likely to have custody of these children. In this episode, Port Helicopter looks at the chances of Tash Hiram Gitau, the husband to Betty Bayo, taking Kanyari's children. And here, Bet Bayo's children with Kanyari are also likely to go to Hiram Gitau. 95% Hiram is likely to succeed on these children and get custody. Why? Section 34 of the Children Act deals with transmission of parental responsibility and custody when one dies. In Section 34, and I want to say, in Section 34, Section 34, subsection 6, provides that if Betty Bayo got married to Hiram Gitau Tash, he took over the children of Kanyari. He has been supporting these children. The question the court will do under the Constitution, Article 53, is to call for the children to come and give their wishes. Under the Children's Act, any child of mature age, and I'm made to understand the first child of Kanyari and Betty is around 13 years old, the court is going to call for that child. The court will listen to the ascertainable wishes of these children. A children officer is going to be sent to interview the children, to interview Kanyari, to interview Hiram, Tash, and also interview the family, the relatives of this place. 2, if the wishes of the children are that they stay with Tash, the court is not going to run away from that, especially if the wishes of the children, these children are of age. Number 2, under the Children's Act, the customs in the principles of looking for custody, the customs of where the children are, the traditional customs matter. Betty Bayo is a Kikuyu, Kanyari is a Kikuyu, and Tash is a Kikuyu. Under Kikuyu customary law, which the Children's Act recognizes, which also the Constitution recognizes, if he paid dowry and he paid for the children, the question the court is going to ask, is that culture repugnant to morality and justice? Can one pay dowry and pay for children? Are children chattels to be bought? But if that custom aligns with the ascertainable wishes of these children, that the children want to stay with the Tash, the children want to live with the Tash, the customs is in support of Tash, the social inquiry by the children officer finds out that these children are better placed to stay with the Tash, Tash will carry the day. So this is not an easy matter. It is going to be argued by serious lawyers to ascertain who actually gets the custody of these children. So in this argument, the court will look at what is the best interest of these children. Are the children going to be better under Tash, Hiram, or are the children going to be better under Kanyari. The third principle why Tash is likely to succeed in this matter, the law provides that children who are brothers and sisters, siblings, cannot be separated. These children, two have Tash as their father. The other two, or whatever number, have Hiram as their father. But the constant figure is their mother. So the law will bring these children together because you cannot separate siblings under the Children Act and under the law called the Constitution. Because Tash has two biological children, there is no way those children, because they are not known to Kanyari, they are foreigners to Kanyari, the court cannot order Tash's children to be carried and be handed over to Kanyari. But Kanyari's children are well known. They are bonded with the Tash's children. They have been staying with the Tash's children. They have been together with the Tash's children. They have a body chemistry with the Tash's children. And therefore, the law now will definitely say for these children not to have what we call, we expose these children to mental anguish, to torture, to stress, and to a lot of problems. Let the children continue staying where they were. What does the law say? The law says if children have stayed with somebody for more than 3 years under the Children's Act, you cannot remove those children from a place they have been staying for 3 years continuously. Bayo's children have been staying with the Tash for over 3 years. Nobody can remove those children from there and take them to Kanyari unless there are compelling reasons. So the court will uphold that principle that you cannot remove children who have been staying where they have been staying for 3 years continuously and take them to Kanyari, who is a late father. Here the principle is clear. It is not who is the biological father. It is the question who has taken responsibility and who has provided that comfort, that situation where the children have been growing comfortably. Based on that, here, if the court argues that and Tash gets a proper legal representation, Tash has 100% chances of having those children together with his other children. But mark my words, this is a battle that is going to start from the Children's Court. I'm definite it will go to the High Court, it will go to the Court of Appeal, and most likely this will be the first case that will be going to the Supreme Court for testing whenever such a situation arises. Because the Children's Act, the Constitution never imagined a situation like this. Court Helicopter News has now told you in 2 episodes. In one scenario, Kanyari has an upper hand. In the second scenario, we have Tash having an upper hand. In the third episode, which is coming shortly, is now my interpretation why I think and the way I see it. It's a very short program. Third episode coming shortly. Wakili Dansen Omari. Welcome to the Wakili Omari's opinion under Court Helicopter News. This is my opinion. My opinion about the children of Kanyari. And my advice to you parents, to you mothers, to you fathers who might find themselves in a situation where your children are a tussle before the courts of law. And as I've said in the 2 episodes, Bayo's children, the question might go to the Supreme Court. 1, to avoid such a situation, as a mother, when you have divorced, when you have given a birth to a child with somebody and you're not living together as husband and wife, the advice I give is that ensure that person adopts that child. Make sure that person becomes known legally by an adoption. An adoption is a reversal from Kanyari's children to be Tashi's children. If that was done, that story ends. The law says one needs the consent of Kanyari. But the law also says if the consent is withheld unnecessarily, the court will look at what is the best interest of the children, and that person will be granted custody. So you, a single mother watching Court Helicopter, you have your child with somebody, but you are married to another person. Make sure that child is adopted. A child has 50, it's just like a company, 50%, father and mother. Get that 50% that was owned by the biological father and give that 50% to your husband who is there. Number two, if adoption is a problem, get to the children's court, get an order for guardianship so that that person who you are married to has legal responsibility over your children. Third, if that is a problem, walk to the office of the children's officer. Anywhere, every county, every sub-county, everywhere, there is a children officer. Get what is called foster care placement. Let that child or those children be with you under the order of foster care placement. The second advice, and my opinion, is that there is no longer any customs of paying to have children. Any culture that talks about paying to have children, it is illegal, it is repugnant to morality. You cannot buy children. There is no law outside the Children Act that deals with matters children. Get it clear. Customs do not deal with matters children. That is why the Kadhi's court has no jurisdiction to deal with matters children. So ensure you follow the law as Court Helicopter puts it to you. 3, if you are a single mother, the man who gave you the pregnancy either raped you or died or disappeared or has never appeared, walk to court and look for what is called sole custody. In sole custody, you will be able to have your child completely alone. You can move out of the country with this child. You can change the name of this child. You can take that child to school the way you want. Sole custody. The third advice, in my opinion, your mother, your father, your relatives will not have custody of your children when you die. You as a mother, you are a child of your biological mother. But your children are children of your husband, who happens to be their biological father. So, my advice, parents, grandparents, stop demanding to be paid money or to be paid dowry or to be paid cash. That you are getting money for to accept your grandchild to be taken over by a man who has married your daughter. Remember, the man who married Betty Bayo only married Betty Bayo. He paid dowry for Betty Bayo. he cannot pay dowry he cannot pay. I don't know how that can be called. You can't pay for the children. The children belong to the biological father. And if Kanyari gets proper legal advice, he has a chance of reclaiming those children. Lastly, Wakili Dan Senomari wishes Betty Bayo to be buried decently. We wish this matter will not go to court over where she's going to be buried, whether she'll be buried in Kanyari's home, whether she's going to be buried in Hiram Gitau's home, or whether she's going to be buried where she intended in her life to be buried. We wish the songbird, the lady of religious music, to have a peaceful burial. Then we hope this matter goes to ADR. This matter about the children, we hope it doesn't go to court, because it will be a big, big trauma. Those children have lost their mother. Those children have lost the person they cared for. Kindly, my advice to all the people listening to Court Helicopter, let this matter be dealt with. I'm appealing to the church. I'm appealing to the village elders. I'm appealing to friends of Betty Bayo. Let us not fight for the children of Betty Bayo. My advice is, let this matter be resolved through the church quietly, so that those children can move on. Those children can forget. Those children can concentrate on their exams. They are tiny children. They are vulnerable. They don't need to be dragged to court. And that is my opinion, Wakili Dan Senomari. May sobriety be there. May commercial interests not come in. May people calm down, mourn quietly, but behind it, remember, let us not destroy those children by a lot of litigation. Let us not take these children to court. Let them not see the drama between the people who loved Betty Bayo. Kanyari, accept Betty Bayo is not your wife. Tasha, accept the children of Betty Bayo had their biological father. These are facts that cannot change. We see you next weekend when you shall be dealing with other matters. Wakili Dan Senomari.
Geri fotera seseni ya musanene ko kuma hadhini wa YouTube gikuria na gitiyo tukia wa subscribe go share na go comment kada wa video ino na ndukariganiro ni guturumirira thini wa TikTok na Facebook musanene ko ni titago musanene ki wiga tu.